Hey everyone! Great to be back with you all again. It's been a while since I put out a book review, and I thought this would be a great time to talk about another one that I recently finished. It's no secret that I have a fondness for many of the projects released by Hideo Kojima. This fondness goes between the more obvious choices, like the Metal Gear Solid series, up through Death Stranding, and all the way back to the less popular stuff like the Zone of Enders series, whose sequel is still one of my favorite games of all time. Naturally, I just had to pick up a copy of his latest book, The Creative Gene, to find out more about this man, who managed to put out so many things I'd come to love. So what is the Creative Gene? Well, the purpose of this book, as Kojima explains in the introduction, is to give examples of various pieces of media, literature, and the like that would go on to influence him and shape the type of developer, and more importantly, the type of person that he'd become. Why? Well, he believes in the concept of memes. No, not those types of memes. This refers to the word's original definition, i.e. the idea that a behavior or cultural pattern can be spread from one person to another, typically through imitation. Kojima makes it clear from the very beginning that he sees this as one of the most important ways that we, as people, can learn and grow from each other, taking concepts of education, literature, media, and other facets, and using these to better both ourselves and society as a whole. If the book sounds structurally similar to Ask Iwata, that's because it more or less is. Once again, you've got a book that takes most of its material from other articles and publications with a central theme behind them to bring it all together. And strangely enough, it all works. The people who selected these articles knew exactly what they were doing when choosing which ones to put in the book. What do I mean by that? Well, on top of each particular piece of media that Kojima references, we also managed to learn more about his past in the process. Chapters like the ones on Unamachi Diary, the original Kamen Rider manga, and the I Spy books gave us a glimpse of the relationship he has with his son. The section on Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver showed me that we all relate on the notion of feeling alone even when being surrounded by others. The chapter on Bewitched, Little House on the Prairie, and Crayon Shin-chan explained the concept and importance of families, both past and present, with plenty to relate to whether you're a fan of those properties or not. All of these ended up teaching me far more about Kojima than I ever thought I could, short of actually meeting the man myself, which I'd admittedly still love to do, but that's not important right now. While reading about his thoughts on a lot of the properties you'd expect, like various sci-fi, manga, etc., there were also plenty of other chapters on things I didn't expect to see. Chapters like the one on Kinshu, Autumn Brocade, really took me by surprise, for example. His borderline poetic words here showed me that this is clearly a man who's experienced a lot more things in the worldly sense. A few chapters of this book will show you that this is not your average game developer, or even filmmaker for that matter. Now, is this book going to be for everyone? Probably not. As I said once before with Ask Iwata, this is not a biography or autobiography, nor does it talk about or focus on anything involving Kojima's time as a developer and producer, or any of the challenges that he may have faced in those fields. This is simply a look into the mind and inspirations of the man who helped create such an important stamp in gaming history, and continues to do so even now. This felt more like the equivalent of having a cup of coffee with one of the greats and getting to talk about fun experiences you had growing up and things that helped shape you into the person you are now. Now, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I don't think you'll be disappointed in the slightest. I certainly wasn't. If you ever wanted to see a more personal touch and perhaps a glimpse of just what makes Kojima such an icon to so many, then I encourage you to give this one a read. For everyone else, this may not be essential, but I'd still strongly recommend trying it at least once if you're even mildly curious. You just might surprise yourself with how much you have in common with the man. As a side note, he also made me want to go back and listen to Joy Division all over again, just to see if any of the nuances he described would sit with me now. Guess I'll have to do that soon. And that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Did you get a chance to read this book yourself? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're feeling generous, please consider supporting my Patreon, where awesome people like Brendan, Cielo, Erica, and Jedi Dude all help to keep this channel going. Until next time, happy reading.